We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS.
Entrando por tus oídos hasta llegar al centro de tus emociones, ADR Networks está en este momento
activando tus sentidos.
ADR Networks presenta.
This is Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch.
And this is...
Foreign Show! On the foreign show.
Oh, this is That Foreign Show, TFS. We bring this one here to you guys live and direct on ADR Networks, activating your senses. Yeah. Oh, we got a special show for you guys today. Special show. It's kind of a I would say it's a special show. Special show. When you see the guests and you see the stuff that we're gonna talk about today, you'll see that it's really cool. All right. And before we get to that, I wanna get insider information we want to give you guys. All right. Insider. Today, what we're gonna do is actually we kind of doing it's sort of a follow-up on a very, very interesting show that we had with Lily Foster and Phoenix Farms. All right, we talked a lot and we learned a lot, and I'm sure you guys did too. And We talked about Phoenix Farms, and Phoenix Farms is having an event. All right, this Saturday. All right, this Saturday, the 27th. All right, this Saturday, the 27th, and the event is held in Chihuahua. All right, Roma Norte. All right, and it starts at 12. It starts at 12 to 4 p.m. All right, so it's a very interesting place. All right, it is basically, if you haven't been there, right, it's one of the places you have to check out in Roma Norte. All right, it is a park, but so much more than that. There's a lot of areas that have been reclaimed or repurposed by different people, and Phoenix Farms is one of them. It's going to be a brunch. All right, so you go there, you're going to have some food, and there's going to be some live music. All right, and me and Celestine, we're going to be playing. All right, we're going to be playing a set of our songs for you guys to come on down, and you won't regret it. You will not regret it, especially if you're a fan of agriculture, or if you're a fan of, the future, or or being sustainable, or even just new ideas, progressive stuff. If you're a fan of these kind of things, come on down. Now I'm just gonna look at the poster that I have here. All right, my guest is here. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through this, and then we're gonna get to the next segment. All right, now, like I said, live music. All right, now this is a special event brought to you, of course, by Phoenix Farms, and they have a lot of support from at Sandwichern. All right, they have this. Oh, I'm looking at this artisanal baguette, and there's mezcal, there's cerveza artisanal. All right, and you got to get your tickets, and you can go there and you can enjoy this beautiful setting amongst these beautiful people. All right. Yes. And like I said, this is actually being held in Chihuahua. All right. It's Chihuahua 139, Roma Norte. All right. So drop us a message if you want to know more, or you can go check out Phoenix Farms Instagram page, and you can get all of the information over there. Now, I'm going to take a break. And when we come back, we are going to talk to a special guest. I'll introduce her when I see her. I'll take the break right now. Yes.
We are going to a break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
On the foreign show.
Hola a todos, yo soy Rosalinda García, la morfopsicóloga número 1 de México. Quiero invitarlos a ver este nuevo programa, Rostros Desnudos, un programa en el que conocerás la personalidad, la psique, el corazón, el amor, todo lo que les interesa saber sobre la personalidad. Así que no se lo pierdan todos los viernes a las 12 de la tarde por ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Hola, yo soy Alicia Rábago y te invito a que todos los viernes a las 9 de la mañana no te pierdas Acompañándonos. Es un programa que tiene temas de salud, de educación, de bienestar, de crecimiento personal, de estar y compartir. Son programas de interés para ti, para mí y para todos. Así que te espero los viernes 9 a.m. en Acompañándonos por ADR Networks.
Inicia tus mañanas con buena actitud, bien informado en temas de actualidad, salud, noticias, entretenimiento y todo lo que quieres saber respecto a tu día a día.
Hola amigos, yo soy Mike y los quiero invitar todos los viernes a la 1 de la tarde a que sintonicen Magic Mike, donde encontrarán las mejores sugerencias para qué ver, qué leer o a dónde ir. No se lo pierdan, viernes 1 de la tarde por ADR Networks, activando tus sentidos.
Hey guys, we're back at TFS, and thank you for staying with us.
On the foreign show.
Oh yes, make some noise for the guest that I have here. Yeah, keep it going. This is Eri.
Hi everyone.
Now, yo guys, before I ask you the questions, I just want to say what today's segment is about. All right, now we're talking to, if you look at the flyer that we have here, it says Korean in Mexico. All right, we're talking about. I know it sounds weird, right? You're gonna say Korean in Mexico. What's the story here? Now, what we're trying to talk to, or we're trying to give some kind of information to people. Let's say you're a foreigner and you go to a foreign country and you have a baby.
Yeah.
And you have a child. What are you gonna do? Maybe it's in your plans. Good. Maybe it's not in your plans. What are you gonna do? You know what? All the struggles that you're gonna go through, and not just you as the parent, but your kid growing up in this foreign land, learning a foreign language. Now that is not always a good thing. Sometimes it is. But then as the kid grows up, I'm not gonna say. Why don't we find out for ourselves? All right. Emi's right here. I'm just gonna ask her. Yo, first of all, thank you for coming onto the show. Right?
Thank you.
we had some kind of administrative change-ups, right? You know, and thank you for coming out and being a good sport.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and let me just kick things off with this. Like, what does it feel right now if I say like I'm sure you had a lot of good and bad stuff. I don't even want to say good and bad, but how would you describe your experience? Like, you know.
I think my experience is hard because I'm consider myself Mexican. So I'm Mexican, not Korean. And for example, I don't speak Korean.
Right.
I can understand some things, but I can understand Korean.
Okay.
But by the time I realized that I'm not like another kids or another Mexican people.
Let me ask you, how did that happen? Because when you realize, you know, like you I mean, obviously you're growing up normal and stuff. So I'm sure, obviously, you know, the other children they will look at you and say, "Oh, you look different."
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I didn't realize it. It was like, I'm very Mexican. My eyes are big. I'm brown.
Right.
But people didn't treat me like Mexican, you know?
Okay.
It's kind of hard.
Okay.
But I think this is a bad part of my life. But the good thing is, for example, I have more opportunities of work, or I don't know.
Yeah, like even just different outlook, right? Like, into things like work is one example. All right, guys, if you're just joining us right now, thank you for joining us. This is TFS, That Foreign Show, and we're talking with our guest, Eri. All right, we're trying to find out what is it like to look through the eyes, you know, of someone who's had a very unique experience compared to what we would say most other people of your nationality, right? So we're talking about foreigners who are traveling. We're talking about foreigners who are traveling long term and who are also having families, right?
Yeah.
And then also, let's continue with what you're saying. So you said that part of your life was very, I mean, it's intense.
Intense.
It's like, what is this? You know, like what? And so what do you do? Are there any things that you do to kind of manage this?
For example, now I'm working on my thesis, and I'm searching about people like me, you know?
Oh, wow. Okay. Wait, let me stop you there. So you said you're doing your thesis. Is like
yeah.
Wow, so interesting. So you this is such a personal topic for you.
Yeah.
And now you feel like you want to go deeper into it to study it like that.
Yeah, because I find like we are many people.
Right.
But at the same time, we are a group,
right?
Like a
minority. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Okay.
So
let me just tell you, because like where I'm from, like where we're from in Singapore, right? Like
I know
there's a few different races, and then like there are some minority race. Like I mean, I was a minority race in Singapore. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of understand some of the things that you say. You know, like. because as kids, especially when you are that young, right? You want to fit in, right? You want to have a group, right?
Because I want to be Mexican,
Yes, like you want to celebrate,
the others.
right? Yeah.
But
Okay, when you're in school, were there some people who gave you a hard time? When you are in school and in your class and stuff. I mean, were there some people who were treating you?
Maybe I can start with my history because I'm not 100% Korean.
Okay.
My father is Korean.
Okay.
My mother is Mexican Chinese.
Okay.
And the mother of my father is Japanese. So.
Oh wow! Okay. Right. Okay. So we gotta do some calculation. But right. Okay. I see what you mean. Okay. All right. So you have Japanese side and you make Korean side also. Right?
Mexican and Chinese.
And Chinese as well.
Yeah.
Right? Okay,
so, in my home, I learned how to be Chinese, Korean, Mexican. But outside, it's very, very interesting how my friends and how my Mexican boyfriends are with their families. Okay. It's very different.
Very different.
The culture.
Right.
So when I say I'm Mexican, I'm not totally Mexican, you know?
Right.
I have many parts of different cultures and society. Mexican society, it's very strong. For the traditions like Halloween, Día de Muertos,
Día de
Independencia, el Día de la Virgen de Guadalupe.
Cada viernes. No, I'm just kidding. Not cierto. But I'm just playing around. But but exactly, man. You talk so many interesting good points like that we can go into. It's like you on one hand, okay, so you're in a Mexican general environment, but then your household is different.
Yes, it's different.
It's different.
So
wow. Then how did you? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
when I think something is normal, outside it's not normal.
Oh, can you give us an example, please? What do you mean?
For example, the food.
Okay.
Food and maybe religious traditions, or I don't know.
Touchy subject.
Or the way that we be in our home, like
talking to your family.
Yeah.
Or you're just sitting on the couch and then you how you talk, right? Like how you are comfortable.
Maybe. Or the respect our parents or our grandfathers. So I think that kind of things are very different between Mexican culture and mine. But because I can say my culture is Chinese or Korean or Mexican, it's only different.
It's only different, yeah. It's only like a mix. You can't even actually say. Exactly. Wow, that is really interesting. So I mean, okay. So I'm just thinking because even in this sense, like, do you try to connect with your Korean side and your Japanese side and your Chinese side? I mean, it's very different, and
it's very different. Yeah. It's very hard. I think I'm looking for Korean.
Like a connection
or
a person to teach you stuff, or you mean like just generally like connection?
Generally.
Okay.
Because my father always talked to me about Korean culture and language, and he wants to I live in Korea.
Okay.
Because he think Mexico is dangerous.
Right. Okay. Dad, you have a point. All right, you have a point. But okay, now let's see. Okay. So and then what do you feel? What do you feel like? What do you want to do?
Well, I love Mexico, but I like Korea too. So I I don't know how to do.
You don't know what to do. Okay. Wow. Okay. So like on one hand, you do want to connect, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's very interesting right now if you look at the world culture right now, like on the world stage, right? Korean culture is ascending, right? It's like it's on the rise. Like people
Yeah.
are looking towards the Korean style, the Korean aesthetic, a lot of the Korean music contributions to the world stage scene is also, we can't dismiss that. If you look at a lot of these things in our popular culture now, Korean thing seems to be idealized. And then has that changed for you how you feel as a Korean? Growing up to now, are you going to your friends and saying, in your face, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? Korea is on the rise, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Well, for me, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I have to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
No, take your time. I want to hear it.
when I went to Korea,
Mm-hmm.
Koreans don't treat me like Korean. They treat me like foreigner.
But is it because you cannot when you speak Korean and they know like okay, you're not
No,
local.
because I don't like a real Korean. Because I'm a mix.
Okay, I see. You think so? But I look at you and I think yes, you can look like Korean.
Everything.
Or even Chinese. No, I'm not saying it in that way, but yeah. Don't you think like you could?
Yeah.
Have you tried it before? Like, been with some Korean people and they say,
but I can't understand them. I can't because they're really weird.
So you understand here, you mean? you don't get them.
No.
It's a different.
Different.
Stuff. Like wow, like why?
Like it's hard. For example, they don't like people looks different.
Okay, I see.
Like different style, or if they are fat or
okay.
something like this. And for me, it's like what?
But it's understandable. I mean, all the plastic surgery stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sure they have a certain kind of beauty standard that is generally accepted by the Korean people. Yeah, I think this is wow, it's very interesting. Like, but I'm hearing this and I feel like it's very cool for you also, right? Like growing up in this way, you have a very different and more open kind of view on things, and
of course,
more international in a way, more cosmopolitan in a way. Not saying that those are good things, but I think that those are actually
it's a good
stuff.
thing.
Yeah, it's actually stuff to strive towards in this day and age. Being open-minded, being welcoming to other cultures and stuff. So, do you also feel your uniqueness when you're growing up? Like, do you feel that power? Like, yes, I'm different. Like I have something to offer.
Now.
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 Okay.
But
right.
It was a hard process. It was very hard because always people treat me different in Mexico too. So, for example, when I go to the market, they always tell me the prices higher.
They hit you with the tourist price.
Yeah.
And they see you coming, they're like, okay.
And I know the real prices, so it's like, bro, no, please. No.
No, not today.
Not today. Not with me.
No, but once they hear your accent and everything, they know that, okay, I can't. She's no. She's
sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us here today, right now in this moment, it's That Foreign Show brought to you by ADR Networks, and we are talking about life. We're talking about life and how that life gets affected when you move around the world. You emigrate, you move from one place to another. And it's very complicated and this kind of stuff, right? Because you're not just talking about yourself and your partner, you're also talking about your kid. And children kind of need certain kind of stability. because, for example, you grew up here,
Mhm.
right? So in your heart, you feel like you're Mexican, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody is going to come to you and say, actually you're Korean or something, it doesn't really make sense because you grew up here, right?
Yeah.
So it's very powerful, this thing. I mean, like, to a traveler, like all of us, most of us are travelers, we think that going from place to place is, that's no big deal. It's just moving. But when you have a kid and the kid is growing up in an environment, they really absorb the whole environment.
Yeah.
Right? Like obviously, right? And the cultural stuff, and talking to the guest today, like, there's this other element also, and it's about how these children communicate with each other, because although they are speaking Spanish in school and speaking the same stuff, when they go back home, it's a completely different cultural climate, so that kind of affects the thing. So guys, drop us a comment, let us know what is up, and let us know if you are also a tourist passing through this beautiful city of Mexico City, and maybe you have plans of putting some roots down, starting a family. What would you say to that, to someone who maybe he's from Europe or maybe he's from Asia and he's coming to Mexico and he thinks, I like Mexico, maybe I can stay here. What would you say to that?
Why not?
Why not? Why not? ¿Por qué no? Right? ¿Por qué no? Mexico is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of things to offer,
It's very fun.
Very fun. It's very fun. Yeah. The people here are fun also.
Yeah.
Right? The people here are fun.
The food is delicious.
The food is delicious. Wow, the food is delicious. I'm just thinking about, we had this plan for this segment when we bring a guest in, right? A foreign guest. We wanted to kind of surprise them. I wanted to bring like a plate of
okay.
or something spicy. And that's not going to work today because that's not going to work, right? That's not going to work at all. Okay, let me ask you another thing right now, okay? So can you tell us, tell the viewers a bit more about this thing that your thesis that you are going into? Like, what made you want to explore this? You said you want to help other people who are in your situation, right? Not situation, but in your example case. Yeah, case, yes.
Well, in my thesis, I will explain about the society, the culture between Mexican and Korean, and what about us, and the government.
Okay, the government. Okay.
Because we think be an immigrant, it will be easier, but no.
No, right. Okay.
No, because the government has to control, So when people to the other countries come to have a baby,
okay,
the government has some
like rights or some laws that they want to
another process,
right? Okay,
to us,
for that the parents have to go through, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we can have both nationalities or not. For Koreans, they can only accept one nationality, Korean nationality.
Okay.
And Mexico, you can have two nationalities. So that kind of stuff, it's very hard.
But that kind of stuff is kind of progressive of Mexico also, right? Like,
Mexico is good for foreigners.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yes, and
but when for example me, when I'm Korean Mexican, when I go to Korea, it's very hard.
Right.
When I went, they say you can come if you don't be Korean, and I say why not? Because I'm only Mexican.
Right.
I can go. Why not?
Yes, why not? Why can't you go wherever you want and stuff?
And they say immigration office,
right?
They say you have to be Korean. I can't realize it.
That's crazy. So basically, they're saying that you have to choose the Korean citizenship before you can get any of the rights.
So when I went, they say you can come, but you have to prepare your papers.
When was this? Like how long ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Wow. Man, that's crazy.
It's crazy because I'm Mexican.
Right, exactly. And they're forcing you to choose like what kind of rights like would you like get? What kind of
if I have
like
both
if let's say
nationalities?
if you choose the Korean, like what can you not do now? Like if you choose the Korean.
Okay, if I choose be Korean, I can't. It's not necessary to have an American visa.
I see. Okay.
Good thing.
Right. Okay. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah. But so how did you enjoy your Korea visit? Did you?
It was hard too because I realized my other side. It was very interesting.
No, please tell us. Yes.
Because I understand my father. I understand my family. When I stayed there, that kind of things I didn't understand in Mexico. Wow. Growing with Mexican people, and I didn't catch. But when I went, I had some Korean friends and Mexican Korean friends, but there, and it was very different. I visit my family, and I met my first time. So I understand my history. It was very hard.
That's such a great thing, right? To you're studying yourself when you study your family, right? That is so amazing, and then you kind of like understand also why you have certain ideas or where it comes from. You know, like it comes from your family and the situations and stuff. So how did they? I mean, when they saw you and stuff, and you know, like, are they curious about how's life in Mexico and things like that?
My Korean friends.
The Korean friends.
But my family, they didn't speak Spanish, only Korean, and they didn't. They can't speak in another language.
Right.
So it was very hard.
Communicating.
It's very hard.
Yeah. So how did you communicate? Like how?
Google Translate. Google Translate.
But you feel satisfied, like you managed to hear something.
They love me. So they always tried to communicate with me like a baby.
Oh, that's nice.
It's nice because I can learn Korean in the natural way.
So they're patient and loving with you, and that's great. And so in Korean culture, how do they feel about foreign cultures?
They don't like.
No.
They are very Koreans because of their history. I understand.
It's a strong cultural.
Yeah, because
this is understandable. Yeah,
it's understandable.
And actually, a lot of cultures are also like this around the world, right? I mean, we can say this. A lot of cultures. I mean, not just we don't want to just narrow down to one, but like, I think it's a natural thing for a human being, for a person who is a part of a certain race, a culture, to be proud of their culture. You know. Because there's a certain identity that you have with that, you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what we're talking about with this kind of healing journey that you have. When you say you understand your family, then you kind of understand yourself, right?
Exactly.
And that part is these are the things that there's no amount of words can describe, this kind of very subtle learnings that you go through. And the funny thing is, these kind of things tend to happen when you step outside of your box, you know, when you travel, or when you go to certain kind of situations where it really tests you and you get a certain kind of understanding about yourself. Are you going to like return to Korea? I mean, obviously to visit your family and stuff. You will do that in the future, right?
Yeah.
But do you have any plans of connecting further in terms of maybe spending some time in Korea, a long time, maybe a few years or something like that. Do you have something like that planned?
I plan that maybe next year, but I don't know.
Wow, next year. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
We might be in Asia too next year, so we can hook up. Yeah, why not? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's really interesting, like. And then, okay, because you mentioned, I keep talking about Korea, right? And you mentioned also you have this Japanese and Chinese part as well. What did you do to kind of reach out to those things, like, or connect, or you haven't?
It's hard to explain because I feel naturally. It's like
right. Yeah.
Every time I do the same with my family, and they teach me like they know. So for me, it's like it's normal.
You're saying you already feel it, like you, because you are that. Right? You are that. You have the Chinese, you have the Japanese in you. So understandable.
But it's normal, but I can separate what of my behavior is Chinese or Korean.
Okay. you can like distinguish which is which. Very understandable. I mean, it's like and also some part of you is like, why do you even need to do it? Like, there's no need also, right? Like, you are special, right? I mean, you are
it's like
a few parts of this, and then there's no special thing. And it's like this same thing is, I think we all have this, we all have unique circumstances that came together to make us who we are, right? And so I think this is a really interesting conversation, and I think we touched on a very interesting topic here because when you can get to a situation like Ari, who went back to connect with her family and try to understand her family, each person try to understand, like the matriarch, the patriarch, the father, the mother, what they might have gone through, and trying to make it in this world, and then you kind of understand, okay, so maybe that's why I have these tendencies as well. And I'm repeating this because I think that this is very important work that we all can do, to become more positive, become more peaceful, and just to even understand ourselves more, right? To understand ourselves better. Like even the Mexican story is so interesting. I mean, it's a whole mix of cultures. You got your Spanish, you got your natives, and that whole thing mixed together makes that whole story, that whole dialogue. And I guess that's maybe one thing also that why we kind of really enjoy hosting this show. Like we get to meet different people and connect in different ways, and in this connection we kind of grow. At least we try to. We are trying to grow. You know what I'm saying? So guys, let us know what you think. How's it going? You want to do a shout out? Shout out to Korea. Shout out to Japan. Drop us a link. Drop us a comment. And we are talking today, right, about these things that I think they are very deep topics actually. Because if you're talking about wanting to travel to another country and wanting to have a family over there, and your kid is going to be growing up as a first generational person, right? So what that means, especially for you, you didn't have any reference, you didn't have anybody who's similar to you, like that you can go and hang out together.
No,
because you're unique. Like you're a first generational person, and your parents who came before they came before. So did that have any kind of a impact in how you actually move about socially? Like,
yeah, it's when I was a kid, it was very hard. But I met a friend in the university at first time.
Okay.
Like me.
You met a friend. What do you mean?
Like me.
Like you mean someone like, similar to you, like, who's okay, that's interesting.
But
wow.
Only at the university. So
that's man. I mean, you're
before,
not kids anymore.
I didn't know anybody.
So let me ask you about that meeting. When you saw each other, was there kind of like a
yeah, we are friends. Now we are family.
Oh man, no. Okay, but that's crazy because university you're already an adult, right?
Yeah.
So this thing about being a first generational person is also, I mean, you do go through this kind of stuff where you feel like, wait a minute, I'm different from everybody else. Who can I talk to and stuff? You know what I mean? So I guess if you are considering this thing of like wanting to grow a kid, what do you think that they should do? Like a parent who wants to have a kid, yeah. Do you think they should put the kids into the international schools, try to make them, or let them have a authentic experience?
Oh, this
This
is
is a
a
tough question,
hard
right?
yeah.
It's a tough question, but I think it's a question that a lot of travelers also think about. Like where I'm from, Singapore, we have a lot of travelers, obviously, and these are things that they go through. Like, okay, if I'm going to live here, my kid is going to grow up here. What kind of environment do I want my kids growing up around? What do you think?
Maybe an international school, it will be good. Because it can be hard if it's a public
Right.
a public school.
Public school, right?
It could be. And if you want to have a baby here, you have to have an open mind.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because I in my research I look I found immigrant people they come and be more nationalist than in their countries.
Oh wow, okay.
For example, my father, they don't eat Mexican food.
Okay.
They only eat Korean food. And even in Mexico, he see Korean TV shows.
Korean like dramas.
Korean TV shows or news or everything, but nothing is Mexican. So when foreigners come, they maybe will be more nationalist than in their countries.
That's really interesting. Like he has like that identity, the Korean thing that he wants to. What would you do if like you bring him out to, let's say you want to go and have some kind of Mexican food or something? Like, would he try it? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, but for him it's very hard. It's like for example, my father he don't want I have a Mexican boyfriend, for example.
Oh, okay.
But I like Mexican guys.
Right. Okay. All right. And okay.
That kind of things.
So would he rather you date a Korean person, or it's not that? It doesn't matter. Like, it's just.
No, he wants to have a ¿cómo se llama? Nieto, ¿cómo se dice?
Nieto, like a yes, like a niece, right?
Niece,
yeah.
Korean niece.
A Korean niece, right. Okay. Wow. So that's his plan. Well, no, okay, no, I'm just asking this stuff, but I guess he has this Korean or he has this cultural thing that he feels very strongly, and I guess he's proud of it also. Yeah. Yes, and I mean, it just adds to the different flavors, right? Like, I mean, what about the other family members who are, like you mentioned, the Japanese and the Chinese? Are they also?
I don't have very in touch.
Okay.
Because okay, because my mother is more Mexican than Chinese.
Okay.
So for her, it's okay.
Oh wow, there's a whole other dynamic than there, right? Like, now that you have, I mean, growing up in Mexico and stuff, do you feel like you can understand your mother better, like stronger way than?
Yeah. I have a better relationship with her because she is more Mexican.
And you vibe with them, right?
Yeah,
that's your thing. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages and nationalities, Thank you for joining us here today on the show. We're down to our last 5 minutes. We are talking here, Ari, right? And we're talking about a lot of different topics, interesting topics, deep topics, and mainly about like if you're trying to raise a family, or you're traveling, and you're wondering what is it going to be like for your kids, or what is it going to be like for your spouse and your family, in a new country. These are the topics that we're kind of discussing, and the kind of stuff that people go through, And Ari comes from a mixed family, like the mom is Mexican. Then you have the other elements, you have your Japanese, your Korean. So you have all these different parts, right? And and it's like it's really interesting, and I think all these things together would actually make a very interesting person.
Yeah.
And I think that probably also gives you a very forward-thinking kind of approach, right? I mean, I know you, like I know you for a while, and I can tell, like I met you and talked to you that, I can feel this, this kind of open-mindedness, right? One way to say it, open-mindedness. But this open-mindedness is healthy, and it's something that we kind of also encourage people to explore and to heal the issues, And when you actually travel and when you actually come into contact with people from different countries and stuff, these kind of things actually come up for you to study yourself and for you to grow. Let me ask you a question, right? What advice would you give to someone who may be thinking about going to another country? Like, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I should ask you that question. Like, maybe maybe this person has some future plans to move, right? And given your experience, like, what advice would you give this person?
Oh, I don't know. If you can, do it. But you have maybe you have to be brave and always open your heart and your mind to explore more, to learn more, to understand the society. And we are humans. We are not only Mexican, Koreans.
Right. Not like boxes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
we are humans.
And
around the
world. Around the world. Exactly. All around the world. Yes. And being open and willing to grow is something that's very, very essential, right, to making this thing happen. Man, all right. It's been a great conversation talking to you. Really, really fun, And I guess we're going to sign off now. But before we do sign off, I just want to say that this Saturday, all right, Phoenix Farms is organizing this event, all right, in Roma Norte. You can go check out their page, all right, get a ticket.
Yay!
Live music, we're going to be playing. Me, Celestine is going to be playing. Celestine is not here today because she has she has a shoot, right? She's on set, and together with Carrick also, they're on set, and too bad they can't be here. We're missing her, and we're gonna catch her again next week. And Ari, was really nice talking to you, and thank you so much for sharing and going to that vulnerable space, to talk about these things, because sometimes people don't want to talk about it because it's uncomfortable, or they don't want to be negative or something, but you are trying to help, and that is the most beautiful thing, and we salute you for that. TFS salutes you. That foreign show brought to you on ADR Networks, activating your senses, and we're going to be signing out right about now. Now, let me get a round of applause one more time for our guests. Thank you for coming down. Thank you for coming down. Yeah. Thank you for coming down. Will you come back again?
Why not?
Why not? That has to be the hashtag segment of the show.
Why not?
Hashtag why not? All right. Catch you guys again next week. Thank you guys. Peace. Yeah.
Thank you to all who joined us here on That Foreign Show. It's been awesome. I'm Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch, and we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, y'all.
Entrando por tus oídos hasta llegar al centro de tus emociones, ADR Networks está en este momento
activando tus sentidos.
That foreign show